Alright guys, just want to say hello. Hi. I know excuse me, my throat went all funny there. I had a frog in my throat. I know you guys know me, but for anyone else that can't join tonight but are able to see the recording, I'm Annie. It's nice to meet you guys, and I'm looking forward to NCTE with you this semester. Right. So there we go. Take my face away. Hope you guys are well and ready for the semester. So I just want to first put NCTE into perspective so you guys know what to expect, what the module's all about, and so you can understand. Yeah, of course, Stefan. You know you're welcome to.
Hi, hello. Can you hear me?
I can. Hi.
Hi. So it's not buzzy or anything.
No, it's perfect.
All right, cool. Just making sure.
Good. Very happy that you are making sure. So the reality is with NCTE, so you're the guys that aren't doing psych as a major. So the NCTE class and then going forward the Journ 2 and Media 2 classes are a lot smaller because majority of the people taking the BA end up doing the psych stream, but we're the cool kids. So for me, I take you guys for your third year with Journ and Media, and this is kind of a really nice module that fits in well with Journ and Media and following through into what we do in your third year. So it's all about new communication technology. So you'll also notice that a lot of stuff that we do in NCTE will also overlap with comms. So it's all quite relevant to today. You guys will see concepts such as intercultural communication and what have you, which I know you've done in COSC. So it's a very straightforward module. It's quite easy in that it's even the way the textbook is written is all very conversational, not very theory forward. It's more conceptual and understanding principles than understanding set theories. So within the textbook, we'll break down certain elements, where it's relevant. In other instances, I'll just get you guys to read certain chapters and, ask if you've got any questions. And we'll do a lot of focus and a lot of content focusing on your part and your POE. You'll also see in the OneDrive is a digital copy of the textbook. So if you need that digital copy, it's a legit version. It's not a dodgily acquired version, because obviously I wouldn't share that. It's taken directly from the source that produced the book. So it is all above board. So it's this Business Communication Today, 15th edition. All right, so thankfully it is quite up to date, 2021 book rather than some of the older books. Okay. In terms of your assessments, all right, we've got obviously our ICE activities, which count 10%, and I'm just going to pull them up for a second just to show you guys what I'm meaning. It would help if I click the button. There we go, share. Okay, so here are your ICE activities. You'll see there are 7, all right. You only have to do 4 for your ICE to get your 10%, but I've put more there to just reinforce that they are useful for the sake of understanding the module and, spending time breaking down each of the different aspects within the module. So, you don't have to do them all for ICE. You have to do 4, but you can do the others just as supporting. Or maybe if there's one you don't really like the look of, then it gives you options to look at the others. Sorry, guys, very long day, and I'm not breathing. Yeah, Stefan, what's up?
It's no problem. I'm sure a lot of us here have had quite a long day.
Mm-hmm.
7:30 for a lecture is relatively late.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, during load shedding, I took a further read through the textbook. You're right in the sense that it's not really theory based. It's more conversation, facts.
Yeah.
Especially the earlier chapters. Just what is expected. Um, like if you have an employer, what is nice quality traits to have from professionalism, communication, and the like.
Mm-hmm.
And it just mentions about the importance of communication, but it says it in a very, very open way. It's not really theoretical, but you're also right that it pairs well with the other modules. Primarily
Mm-hmm.
communication. There's quite a few things that overlap from there.
Mm. But it's quite a nice approach for you guys. So how I always tell my students how to look at NCTE is look at it as your brain break compared to all the other modules. You have got COSC, you've got English, you've got media, you've got all these other intensive modules that are very theory heavy and reading copious amounts of work and that. This module is your brain break. It is not about writing down any notes. You literally can sit and look at the VC Learn work, the active learning, and read the textbook, and that is all you actually need to do well within the module. Because there are one or two things that you have to pull out set theory, but I will tell you those exact pages. The rest of the content that you're creating, from being writing a email to creating an Instagram post, you're going to be doing it all. And it's all about more me seeing your understanding of the different processes in place. There is, I think, two questions between the part and the POE, which there is in-text referencing and a small amount of academics, where the rest is all hands-on practical work that you are creating. So that's why I say it is quite nice to have this module mixed in with the others. Okay. So I know I did put it on VC Learn, but just to again say that your part submission has now been moved to the 26th of October. I think comms had to move, so then new NCTE had to move. So just to be cognizant of that, so 26th of October is the part, and the 16th of November is your final POE. We will obviously get through the stuff for your part relatively early within the semester, and with that, we will move on. Even though the part is only due the end of October, we would have moved on long before that. So even though the the NSS, sorry, my brain is addled. Um, Even though the NSS is later on in the semester, I will still be breaking down the assignment with you, the part with you, throughout the weeks. So our NSS is only on the 11th of October. For me to only address it on the 11th of October is not beneficial to you or me, because I want to address the aspects of the part and the POE as we get through the different elements. So I will address that stuff earlier, but then obviously in the NSS I will address it as a whole. So even if you are working through stuff throughout the semester and you want to check stuff with me during our collabs, go for it. Okay. Because we are a small group, we don't often use the full hour of our collabs. It's more okay, have you gone through the work? What did you find most important? So even though this is the easy module, it's more that if you read beforehand, do that prep work, it means that when we're communicating, we're just chatting over the certain aspects of it, and then I'll show you how it relates to the part or the POE. So the more prepped you are, obviously, the more you can get involved within the discussions and what have you, and the more you can get out of it. This isn't going to be like other collabs like I do for Journ and media, where it's breaking down difficult concepts. because there aren't really difficult concepts. It's me more focusing on what is necessary for your part in your POE and that kind of thing. All right. The paste is obviously in the OneDrive. All these documents are all in the OneDrive, so you have full access to everything anytime, day or night. So that is also really helpful. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yes. Hold on. That is a good point. I haven't actually checked if they. But from my understanding, the part was not meant to change from the last semester to this semester. NCTE 6222. We won't get to this lecture anyway, this collab. So they haven't told us if there's been change. Oh, sorry, guys. I'll carry on looking while we chat. This the sites obviously are running a bit slow with the C cable issue. So it just means getting into stuff is a little trickier than normal. It just takes a little bit more time.
I heard this to be a problem. The last night lecture or communication lecture,
Yeah.
we were informed. I was like, oh.
Was
But
that
yeah,
Brenda, I'm guessing?
yeah.
Okay,
But
so yeah.
sorry, I wanted to state that on the OneDrive under the new communications technology, there's
Yes.
we actually have, well, they include a part and a POE.
Yes. Yes.
Is
And I've just double
this
checked. That is the correct one.
is that the
Correct
correct
ones.
part? Oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah. So if you have a look, so just I went and just double checked now if something had changed. But normally how it works, if you look at your student material folder, it normally will say semester one, semester two, where NCTE just says 2023. So they're using the same material for the whole of 2023. So what is there is the correct, and what is in the OneDrive is correct. Yeah. Win for you guys, because it's not like other modules where we've been waiting for ages. And also win for you because it's quite a simple and quite a fun case study. So basically, your whole semester and this whole module will be based on as if you are working for Pringles essay. So the idea is that our part focus and our POE focus will all be on Pringles, but a particular campaign that is to be run. So what is nice with NCTE, which doesn't necessarily happen in all the other modules, is that the part and the POE actually interlink, which makes for a nice change. So everything that you do, all the research, all the
Yo,
background
okay.
stuff that you do for the part, you actually then use that same material, same color scheme, same designs and everything you use for your POE, which I think works in your favor.
It works in my favor because I have 5 modules this semester. It
Ouch!
helps. Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but you'll be able to do it. Like I said, this one is the simple one. So you'll get through no problem. Just it's just the time consuming aspect of it. Like you are going to be making Instagram posts and you are going to be doing bits and pieces. So it's just about, finding the time to set aside to do the assessments. They're not very taxing mentally. Yeah, good question. I can barely cope with my 2 modules. Oh, sorry, go, Stefan.
Oh, sorry. Chantal, no. I'm not working full time from high school straight to college. Um, my first year was on campus. Um, and I really liked campus life. It was Westville campus, Varsity College. But then COVID struck. Ain't that nice? And then I had to switch to online, and that was a whole process on its own. And I lost out a full year because of the transfer from online to, or from campus to online, because there was a point where neither campus knew where my profile was, and I started more than a month after everyone else. And so Varsity College said, well, the only thing we can really do to help is if you defer, because I had missed like two two assignment due dates at that point, and then
Yeah, it's better to defer then.
I had to log separate tickets to like for each assignment, and that week I joined, I had an assignment due, and I had missed like another one. And on the day like I could join, the next day was an assignment, and then I had to explain to each lecturer where I've been. It was a nightmare.
I
Um,
remember.
that was absolute pain. Um, and doing the whole transfer again back to campus, no. So I've just been studying. I can't call it full time because online isn't counted as full time. Um, that's why it's not really counted as full time. But yes,
I'd say doing 5 modules is pretty full time.
yeah, I would say so, but declared by online, it's not full time. Like if you have
True.
to state that you're
Mm.
studying full time, it's not because it's online. Sorry for my whole rant. We're here with the recording. I'm so sorry.
That's fine. Don't worry. You didn't say anything negative. I would have stopped you if you were. So you're good to go.
But yeah, there's
All
my
right.
TED talk. There's my TED talk. Thank you. We can continue. Sorry.
No stress at all. Okay. So let me close this quickly and let me pull up your first learning unit. Have you guys all had a chance to work through learning unit one? Stefan?
Not all of it. Not all of it. Last week I had
Okay.
to focus on writing my English summative assignment, or not assignment,
Mm.
exam. Um,
Okay.
so it was a little bit delayed in making progress on each of the modules. I've made progress on English and communication so far, and a little bit into sociology. That's what I wanted to mention. Sorry, I actually got reminded. For my first year on campus, there wasn't a sociology 1A and 1B. It was just
Yep.
sociology. And then when I went
Mm-hmm.
to online, there was a new prerequisite, sociology 1A and 1B. And they said,
Mm.
well, you have to complete 1B. So that's my fifth module.
Mm.
It's like, well, okay. 5 modules it
Just do it
is.
all then.
Just do it all then. Why not?
Yeah, because then the degree change. I know. I've got a couple of students that have got that same issue. They're doing sociology again
Yep.
now. So
I can't
even
believe
their third year is
that.
doing first year modules.
Oh,
All right, so
my word. All right. Yeah.
let me just, okay. So just in terms of what is important and not important and what have you for the module, just to give you guys some guidance and some clarity, the first learning unit is basically uh, mostly about generalizations, background information. It's not anything that is critical to the part or the POE. The content in here is just general, like just trying to set the scene. It's from learning unit 2 onwards that we start to see the stuff that's more specific, like intercultural communication, what have you. But just a couple of things that are worth just mentioning. The first thing here being these different types of communication being transmitted meaning, negotiated meaning, and recreated meaning. Because what we need to think about is that when a company sends us communication, whether it be in the form of an advert, a letter, news bulletin, whatever it is, there is always the intended meaning of what they're trying to share and what they're trying to tell everyone, and that's your transmitted meaning. So it's the meaning that the company is trying to achieve. The negotiated meaning is where the company and the audience kind of give a little bit of to and fro, adjusting the meaning to the audience will adjust the meaning to what suits them better, and then the company will follow suit with that. So a good example of negotiated is TikTok. So we think about what TikTok was like in the beginning versus what it is now, is because there was negotiations between us as the users and the creators of TikTok. And then on the other hand, we can have a recreated meaning. So let's say you put out an advert. Let's use, for example, the Tresemme ad where they showed, what was it? Curly, frizzy, normal hair, and they showed, stereotypical blonde, white hair as normal, and all the others that were people of color and what have you were seen as dry, frizzy, unruly, and what have you. So their transmitted meaning was meant to be, it works with everything. Um, this hair product works with everything, but the recreated meaning was you're being racist yet again, Tresemme. Pull it down. Stefan, will these slides be available to us? Yes, they're already in the OneDrive for you. So you are able to grab them. You can also download them here as well. Yep. What do you want to say, Stefan?
The topic that you brought up, we actually had last semester a ICE task correlated to that. Um, I I don't know who created the advert, but yes, the message that most people got from that was that that does seem quite racist. They could have
Yes.
showed the same person, but they opted to be like, oh look, uh, the characteristics you find on black women, which is normal, and it's like, oh no, this is the bad, oh this is the good, and the white woman, blonde hair, and we had to like take a look at that. And I was like, who who said that this was a good idea? Like who thought this was a good idea?
This is what you've got to wonder sometimes, how they go through all the different
How
stocks and
editing and
takes,
everything? Like
and
how?
they still release these things. So I know that, so even though it's an individual base, most celebrities actually are known as organizations or companies because of their branding and everything. And there was Megan Trainor released a blog, a not a blog, podcast where she said F teachers. And this went out, so it means it went through, she said it went through editing. They used it as the sound bite in the advert for the podcast, so basically using it as clickbait. And then after the fact, once it got released and she started getting backlash all throughout the States, then she said, no, you must understand the context. I was meaning it to teachers that put um, students down and don't let us be ourselves, teachers the most important things within this world, yada, 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 yada. And as a company, as an organization, it damaged her reputation for quite a while. She's still been slightly cancelled compared to what her following was like before. She was starting to get very popular again, and everyone's like, if that's how you see us, then we don't want anything to do with you. So it's important, like when we look at all these different forms of communication, whether it's to do with media or anything, how that is attacked. Wait, hold on. My thing jumped. That is an attack on her reputation. Yeah, it is. And the thing is that a celebrity lives on their reputation. So whether you are a big organization or whether you're an individual acting as an organization, it's important to make sure that you think about what you're doing. So it's what they call the elements of professionalism: being dependable, being a team player, being respectful, being positive, being ethical, and be the best. And these are the basic tenements. Yes, Stefan?
Sorry, am I talking too much?
No, not at all. I don't like
Uh,
hearing my own voice. I'm not complaining.
I understand when it comes, you know, we've been told this quite before. Lecturers do appreciate when students do communicate. So I've been
Yes. Yes,
always putting in the
definitely.
effort to try and communicate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I read through this graph today. I saw it in the textbook.
Good.
I'm actually a little bit sad that
Why?
um no, the textbook you had available for us as a PDF, and I prefer actually having the textbooks as a PDF, even though during load shedding and stuff it can be a little bit complicated. Um,
Mm,
but the textbooks are quite pricey, and it's a
mm,
case of if there's a new version for a textbook, then your old one's kind of irrelevant. No one's going to really buy it. And
mm,
so I bought the textbook for new communication technology, and like on the first, uh, like I did see in the drive that like the textbook was available as a PDF, and I'm like, ah.
I know.
I got all the others as a PDF, and I was like, well, new communication technology, the only one I'm missing. Sure, I'll order that one.
Oh no, that's the thing.
And it's like,
I
well,
wish I can't communicate it to you guys beforehand, and also at the same time, we encourage you to buy the textbook because things can go wrong, and you can't have access to the PDF and all that. But when you have the textbook, obviously you've got it and you've got full
yeah,
accessibility to it. So,
I
but yeah, I know
uh,
they're so expensive.
they are really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing about having it on PDF is that if you're looking for a specific keyword to have the PDF search
Yeah.
to find stuff, that's why specifically I really like it's like,
Mm.
okay, but which chapter was this again? Oh, keyword, and then you can find it
Yeah.
from there. And that's why I prefer the PDF, not because it's free. I'm glad that we were able to get some of the textbooks for, uh, for free. That's really generous.
Mm.
But I prefer, like, if I could have purchased it as a digital copy, I would have because I prefer the digital
Mm.
because of that function. It saves so much
Yeah.
time in finding the correct information that you're looking for.
Mm. That's the thing. That is why I share it, is that sometimes when you're trying to find specific things, it becomes difficult, and I don't really want to gatekeep what I have and make your lives more difficult because that's never my intention. I always want to try and make things easier for you guys rather than more difficult. So, yeah, just the unfortunate thing is the timing because I know you all buy the textbook and then you go on and you're like, damn it. But it is what it is. We have to, we just sell it for next year. Hopefully the book won't change. I don't think it will though. Uh, yeah, I've got a textbook like that for my studies at the moment, but I can't find it in my house. Nowhere. And I bought it last semester, so I had all my things together. So, I'm hoping I'll find it this weekend. So, oops. Anyway, so back to this. In terms of now, this is something that's important for you guys. In terms of your part, is looking at the how the audience receives messages and what to consider. So everything that within this module and everything to do with what we're studying is all about communication and interacting with a wider audience. So the thing is that when we are um, creating documents, whether it be adverts, brochures, whatever it is, it's all about communication with a purpose. So in this instance, our purpose is to ensure that we are meeting your audience's expectations. The message must always be user friendly. We've got to emphasize familiarity, so people feel happy and comfortable with what you are producing, and they have a sense of connection through brand, establishing brands and what have you. We always need to ensure that we have empathy and always design for compatibility. I'm sure for you guys, you would have chosen to maybe use a particular social media site, or you choose to engage with specific brands and what have you because of their ease of access and the ability to be able to get into their websites and their social media pages and everything as quickly as possible. So we've also got to think about the shared experience. The more the experience is shared with the audience, the more they are likely to actually relate to what you are trying to put across to society, what information you're trying to share. So it's really important to make sure that you think about what the intentions are. And the reason why I talk about you is if you are doing this, whole big thing of communication and communication model and what have you, um, it's that you guys are going to be writing as if you work at Pringles. So if you don't see it as what you need to do, you're going to obviously have a problematic situation. Yeah, Stefan, go for it.
So yes, I've noticed that quite a few points it mentions as though if we were the employees, what is expected of good communication practice,
Mm-hmm.
and one of it was, acquiring, processing, and sharing information. As you stated
Mm.
here, it's really important to um, share information, to go out and communicate, to constantly be looking for ways for opportunities. For
Yes,
that was also
100%.
one. Foster positive relationships was the other one in my
Mm.
notes. Mhm.
Yeah, good points. And this is the thing is that we have got to think about, you've got to think about yourself as being the marketing manager or the person who is communicating out to the audience. Because if you can connect in that way, and if you can think about the audience as uh, you know, real people that want connectivity and want to know about these products to the best of their abilities through the information you provide, then you will have success in all that you're trying to do. So, what is also important to think about is when you are doing all this work and when you're looking up all the stuff, you have to think about the ethics. Okay, so obviously you guys are quite used to um, the ethics of plagiarism and all that, but we also have to think about withholding information, distorting information. It's all about just making sure we understand that we need to work in the most ethical manner as possible. So there should never be an ethical dilemma, because that's when a company repeatedly puts out content that is unethical. So the one that always comes to mind for me is Dove, because often they will, their ads often speak to like lighter skin tones being better. Um, when obviously that's not the case. It's just been poor advertising and ordering of the content that they are putting out to the audience. But it's that we need to, like, you can have what they call ethical lapses. Ethical lapses are when by mistake something goes wrong, and it shouldn't, obviously, but at the same time, we do know these things can happen, and sometimes, we have to just work with it and apologize and move on. Where other companies, it'll be, continuous, and that is problematic in itself. Okay. So, what we need to think about when you guys are, working with Pringles as a product and writing in which in hopes of creating content that reaches the different audiences that you need to reach, we need to just think about making sure we are working in an ethical and factual manner. Obviously, there are going to be some facts that you will need to essentially make up to make it make sense and flow and what have you. But other content that I know that you can research and find the information on it, that obviously I expect you to use. So it's all about just finding that balance between the two. All right. So the balance between made up and actual, factual, real information. Okay. All right. Questions? Any questions from you guys? None from you,
Nothing so
Eric?
far. Everything seems to be um, in order, perfectly fine.
Okay.
Before we continue, apologies, this just came to mind. I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to comment to Chantal. Yeah, I really wish for those who are working full time and having to do the Bachelor of Arts course, I wish you guys like the best. Um, that can also be really, really difficult, even if you have less modules and you space it out. That is really taxing.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few friends who are going through this as well. I was blessed enough that I could study full time and not have to find. I would, but I'm blessed that I have the opportunity to study full time to get it out of the way. You know, that I can dedicate the time to complete the course. But yeah, I just wanted to wish for all those. I've seen a couple of students who've had to deal with during the course of the day having to do a full-time job and then having to come home and also do this as well. I just wish all of you guys the best. Um, you guys are legends. You guys are literal legends.
It's so true. I don't know how you guys do it. It's
To
really,
manage that is admirable. Even be it two
yeah.
modules, even be it two modules, to have to write like 1,600 to 1,800 word essays after coming back from a
Mm,
full-time job is like, wow.
it's intense, yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think that's it for tonight. If you have any questions when you're working through everything, please just let me know. Hey, Karen. Sorry, I didn't see your thing come up. Chantal, I try and say, do we have dates for Ice Task due dates, please? Sorry, I didn't see these because the screen was up. So what I do is the Ice Tasks, you can work on them as you work through each section. Then there's going to be one overall, like one big due date at the end of semester. So as we get through each learning unit, I will say to you guys, you should be, working on X ICE task or whatever it may be, but then they'll all get marked at the end of the semester for submission. So technically we have to give you till the end anyway. So yeah. Hey, it might be super late, but you still were able to join. So
So there's no
great.
particular final due date that it's just end of semester we need to be completed with all the IC tasks. I know, of course, there will be like points of when we should be expected to have
Mm,
completed a certain IC task for pacing. Pacing is very important.
mm.
Um, rather not leave IC tasks for when you're writing exams.
Yeah, exactly.
Get it over now while you're going through all the learning units and stuff, or while you're studying uh, or prepping for an assignment that you just complete the IC tasks there as a sort of practice.
Yeah.
Get information and stuff. So yeah,
So that's
for this, it's at the end of the semester is essentially the IC tasks are due.
Yeah, so it'll be towards the end of semester before the POEs and everything are due, before CAS has to be released, that
All
it'll
right.
be somewhere around then. And then we're able to, um, yeah, we've got to give you as much time as possible because everyone obviously is working at their own pace through everything. So there won't be as much pressure. But also with the ice tasks and stuff, they're there to just help you and guide you through the work. If you're finding that they are very taxing or if there's anything going on, just chat to me and we can see what's going on and if there's any way that I can help. So just more than anything, guys, just communicate as much as you need to with me. I will help wherever I possibly can. Don't panic because I will, my view is I will do as much as I possibly can to help you besides doing the work for you. I'll support you with everything else as long as you are doing the work. So yeah, that is my view. Okay. Any other questions?
No, thank you. This was a really chilled online lecture. Yeah, thank you. This was
Cool.
awesome.
Thank you,
I'm
guys.
so you stated, because I'm actually very curious about this, if we didn't take the psychology route, we would get new communication technology as
Yeah,
one of our modules.
yeah. And then they
Interesting.
won't do Journ 2 and Media 2, where you guys will.
Yeah.
So technically, by the time you guys finish, you end up with a triple major compared to the psych that have
Yeah.
got double major.
I have um I have a friend who's working for his mother's company and he is studying psychology and
Hmm.
it's a really long course, but he is really
Mm,
dedicated to he knows what's required, the community service, he knows the drill. It's a
mm.
long course, um,
It is.
but yeah, it's I'm really proud of him. He's putting in the effort. He's
But I
working
mean,
really
look at you
hard.
guys. You get triple major. You can go and do your honors in Journ, Media, Comms, English, and PGCEs. There's so much more studying open to you guys by the end of this, which is
Yeah,
really cool.
there is, there
So,
is.
got to think about that as well. You guys are very marketable by the time you finish this degree.
Yes, this is you are quite correct there.
All right, guys. You go have a great evening,
Cool,
and
thank
I
you.
will chat to you all soon.
Awesome, thank you.
Bye,
I wish
everyone.
everyone an awesome night.